and welcome to a very special edition of KXLY4 News, a half hour dedicated to this gorgeous place we call home, the Inland Northwest. We're glad you could join us. I'm Robin Nance.
And I'm Derek Dice. We're taking you all across the region, from Grand Coulee to Paradise and from Cusick to the Snake River. We'll take a look at some of your favorite spots and maybe introduce you to some brand new ones, and all from a different point of view.
It's been about a year since we got the newest addition to our team of technology, the Air 4 drone. It's a DJI-inspired 2. Takes all these beautiful pictures in up to 4K video. It can fly at 60 miles an hour for as far as 3 miles, all in a little package that weighs about 8 pounds.
So let's get started. As beautiful as it is right now, our first Air 4 adventure takes us back to our long, cold winter.
In January, our chief photographer, Brian Belanger, headed out to Fernand Lake to check out ice fishing. Take a look.
Perfect little lake nestled away. Ice fishing, looking for perch and pike. Yeah, it was slow today, but it's better than work. Make sure the ice is safe and go with someone who knows what they're doing.
Make sure the ice is thick enough, make sure you got good traction on your shoes.
Having fun on the ice. Just figured I'd take the bike out. I know there's more snow the other day, and figured if there's a little bit of snow, there's a little traction.
If ice fishing doesn't float your boat, how about something a little more active?
Yeah, like snowshoeing. That same month, Air 4 was keeping up with some adventurers not afraid of the cold as they were out and about in the conservation area in Spokane Valley, north of Trent.
We are at Antoine Peak Conservation Area. In total, 1,100 acres of conservation land that has zero risk of avalanche, so it's a really great place to get out and tromp around in the winter. Snowshoeing is considered the fastest growing form of winter recreation, according to some of the studies I've read. I have noticed a huge spike in the number of participants, and it seems to increase every single year. It's an excellent way to get outside and get a little exercise. It's the time of the year when people oftentimes have New Year's resolutions that include fitness, and it's one of the best and least expensive ways to get out and enjoy the snow. As you get up to the summit, it's possible to see Eiler Creek Conservation Area, Mica Peak Conservation Area, Liberty Lake. On a clear day, you can actually see all the way out into the Palouse, and you can see Steptoe Butte from the summit.
Just before Christmas of last year, we took Air 4 to Coeur d'Alene to check out Cherry Hill.
And if it's a spot you don't know, you might want to mark it on your calendar for a must-do next year. And it was in December as well that Spokane opened a new attraction that proved to be immensely popular, the Ice Ribbon.
And seen from above, immensely beautiful as well. Lots a whole lot of outdoor activity.
Sure is.
But the Inland Northwest has plenty of beautiful places to unwind and relax as well.
Here's a bird's eye view as Air 4 flies over Quinn's Hot Springs in Paradise, Montana.
When people drive into Quinn's, they're utterly amazed because we're nestled on the Clark Fork River, deep in this beautiful canyon. It's very rugged, it's gorgeous.
Look around you, you get every day it's a different scenery, and the wildlife, just the atmosphere, the foliage, it's all great. The fishing, the hiking, the hunting, if you're into that, it's all here, right in Paradise.
The hot springs is the real draw. What would Quinn's be if it wasn't a Quinn's Hot Springs resort?
Lots of people have seen the view going down the mountain at Schweitzer, but what about flying above it?
Here's a different look we think you've never seen before and probably will never forget after seeing it as an Air 4 adventure.
This is the Chateau de Mélusine. The castle itself was built about 20 years ago. Well, I live in the main castle with my wife, and I rent this one through Schweitzer. It's not a hotel, it's not a motel, it's something that you can feel at home in. All the antiques in the castle are original. The ages of the pieces range from 15th century, mostly 15th, 16th century. This is one of the bedrooms, second bedroom. If you look out the window to your north, you'll see Schweitzer Resort down below and the village. Well, it's a beautiful location. It's not that far from town, but it's far enough to make you feel like you're in another world.
Today we are doing a couple of jumps with KXLY here at Schweitzer Mountain. You're seeing some different 5s and 7s, switch and regular from people.
I know that our snowpack is good, and we should be looking forward to a really good spring skiing this year. So,
Schweitzer has been incredible. In North America, we have some of the best snow as of right now, and probably one of the best parks.
the terrain here is pretty phenomenal. You have everything from good steeps to fun cliffs everywhere to really good beginner and intermediate level terrain, and tons of it.
It is really a treat to ride the terrain that we have, from the terrain park all the way to the trees, to the cliffs, to Little Blue and the T-Bar. It's all incredible.
We hope you're having as much fun as we are on this tour around the Inland Northwest, and we have lots more to come.
That's right. When we come back, we're going to show you the Spokane Falls. There are few places as beautiful to see as that, not to mention the State Line Speedway and biking at Lake Coeur d'Alene.
And don't forget a herd of buffalo in Cusick with little calves and all. Pretty amazing to see.
Before we go to break, though, take a look at these amazing moments captured at Corbin Park in Idaho. We'll be right back.
Post Falls Dam has been serving Avista customers since 1906. Over there, the low flow at the lowest flow time of the year could be even at the dam 200 or 300 cubic feet per second. But what we've seen come out of Coeur d'Alene Lake is as high as 48,000 cubic feet per second. So the dam's powerhouse has a capacity of 5,000 cubic feet per second. The dam generates on average, about 10 megawatts of energy a year. This is clean, renewable energy, but it's also important as a community asset because it does help keep Coeur d'Alene Lake at that summer level and provides all the opportunities associated with the lake. We created new trails, a new visitor overlook, ADA access, new parking lot, again to add more benefits to people to use that, to have access and enjoy that whole environment all around Post Falls Dam.
The beautiful Post Falls Dam there, which is really something to see from above.
Now here's something we're pretty sure you've seen before. Maybe you've even walked by it a dozen times or so. The Spokane Falls. But it takes on a whole new dimension when you look at it from the air.
We're really in a place where people move here and they love the river for the quality of life it brings. We know the Spokane River has been inhabited for many thousands of years. There have been continuously occupied villages of native people here for well over 8,000 years, fishing for the salmon that would come up through the river every year. Human beings love rivers and they enjoy the services that rivers provide, whether that's a peaceful morning just gazing at the river or whether that's fishing in it or turning a turbine. The river is absolutely powerful and to be respected. A lot of times the hazards are not obvious. You know, every year when the weather gets warm, people want to come out and get into the river and boat it. And many people don't have the skills to do that properly. You can see the river washing through the trees. If you get caught in that, it can be deadly. I think we're seeing in the 21st century really a new recognition that rivers are to be valued for their beauty and their aesthetic and all of the things that they bring us, and they really need to be taken care of and cleaned up.
Marabot Point Park gives you a slice of nature right in the heart of the Spokane Valley.
And the Dishman Hills is a wonderful woodland tucked in between Spokane Valley and Spokane. Both wonderful places to visit. Now take a look from above.
It's just really peaceful. I like it, and there's not a ton of people out here. And it's really pretty. I like the sound of the river too.
I like how the snow on rock, but it looks pretty. And I'm more of a portrait photographer, so I'm trying to get better at my landscape.
We had family pictures taken out here last summer, and so we knew it was a good spot to look around, and it's pretty scenery, especially in the wintertime.
You could do this on a daily basis, where the other, trails you might have to go drive an hour, half hour, and this is 10 minutes from my house. It's something besides walking around the block. It is so close to town, but it's just right here, and they're short trails, so you could go for 15, 20 minutes, or you could go for a couple hours and you kind of get lost in Little Rock. any area could benefit from things like this, just a quick getaway. Even on your lunch hour, you see people sitting in the parking lot eating their lunch. There's so many different trails, you see something each and every time. Deer, lots of tracks. Apparently there's been a moose and her calf down here in the past. And of course, all kinds of birds.
If you haven't been out to Dishman Hills yet this season, you don't know what you're missing.
It's so gorgeous. Oh, we have a lot more to come on the special edition of KXLY4 News, Air 4 Adventures. We'll check out the WSU rowing team on the Snake River. But before that, let's take in a few laps around Lake Coeur d'Alene in the biking lanes.
Coming down to the water is everyone's favorite time of year. This season we've been working really hard. I think we're going to do really good things. We have a young team, but they're all very willing. Just to be out here on water every day, it's something completely new off of campus. It's an incredible feeling, and when you get in a rhythm with your team, there's nothing better than it.
There's a lot of advantages just because there's no one else out here. We have the whole water to ourselves, so there's no interruption. This is definitely a unique place. I'm from Los Angeles, so I didn't get this luxury in high school.
This is just our own little hideaway. I mean, we just build toughness and resilience out here, so. It's a beautiful place. It doesn't always cooperate, but we learn how to be temperamental, and we learn how to just keep going through it, like keep rowing no matter what.
Well, that's the Grand Coulee Dam. It is the third largest dam in the world, so largest dam in North America, and you know, we love it. Where else do you get to see that? We've got great water, 3 lakes, a lot of sun, hardly any congestion. Yeah, beautiful open spaces. They pump water out of Lake Roosevelt into Banks Lake. I mean, I think it's one of the biggest lakes in eastern Washington that almost nobody knows about, so there's nobody on the lake. You got wide open spaces, you got lots of room to wiggle and stuff. You know, Steamboat Rock's in the middle of it. Sunbanks Resort is the only resort on the north end of the lake, so we've got kind of a primo spot right on the shoreline. Love the sun and the water. I've lived rainy places before, and we get this kind of weather about 300 days a year, so.
All right, we have saved some of our very best for last.
That's right, Robin. We still have the State Line Speedway and those beautiful buffalo coming up.
But first, check out Frisbee Golf at Whitworth. It's something to see.
Years of tradition at the State Line Speedway and still counting. And as the cars go round and round, we went up and away.
We did. Check out the races from above.
This is our first time out this year. I mean, you know, after a long winter, everybody's excited to get back out and shake the cars down.
It's like just an adrenaline rush. I love it.
Welcome spring. We're ready. Well, it's a quarter-mile paved. You know, it's got a decent banking to it. It's a fun track.
In the limited car, you're only going to hit about probably 85 down the straightaway. You know, if you get in the super late car, you're going to be closer to 90, 95.
It's fast.
I don't have a speedometer, but I would say about 45, 50.
Everyone helps each other. Even if you have different kind of cars, you know, it's all the same kind of spirit. It's a nice venue. It's one of our favorite tracks to come to.
It's my favorite thing in the world. I love cars. I love driving.
It's a great family event center. I mean, you got to come out here, you know, bring the kids out Friday, Saturday night. State Line's going to be booming this year.
We want to thank you so much for coming along with us on our trip over the Inland Northwest.
And we hope you'll tune into KXLY Ford News every Friday and Sunday as we introduce a new Air 4 adventure each and every week. You just never know where we'll show you next.
As we leave you, we're going to take a trip over Cusick where the buffalo roam. Take a look. Thanks so much for being with us.
The herd was developed in 1974 with a gift of 10 buffalo from the Teddy Roosevelt National Park. We have 115 buffalo in our last inventory last fall, plus calves this spring. They're just now calving. Kalispel tribe keeps buffalo not only that they're a cultural icon and a aesthetic cultural value for the tribe and for the community. They're a part of a food security program for the tribe where we have clean protein that we can distribute to our tribal membership and community members. This isn't buffalo territory, but it is part of a broader perspective to restore buffalo to the landscape. They're fun to deal with. We get to round them up once a year where we do a health check and vaccinations. But for the most part, they're grass-fed and natural. They get to live on this landscape. Our floodplain mimics a mid-grass, tall grass prairie, so it's really well suited for them from that perspective. Tribe created a pullout just before you get to the wellness center, and that allows people to pull off the road safely and be able to view the buffalo.